I used to start my morning every day the way most indie authors do. I would bounce between Google Docs for my manuscript, spreadsheet for my launch checklist, Notion, Canva, my email platform for newsletters, KDP for my sales numbers. And by the time I'd gotten through all that, my actual writing time was gone. So I built StorytellerOS. Instead of a software demo, I think I'm just gonna give you like a day in the life of how I use it. So let me show you around. First thing I do when I come in the morning is I have my 2 hours of writing time. So I'm gonna go into Project Studio and I'm gonna go into the titles that I'm working on. So when I get here, this is book 1 and I can go straight into write with it. And it's got all of my chapters here broken down. I can collapse this navigation over here, so I've got a full writing studio. Now, sometimes I'm writing by myself, and so then I will just start a timer and I will go for as long as I want to go. But sometimes, most days, I'm writing with my writing group, and that's when I'll do a Pomodoro timer. So I can start a Pomodoro timer. It's a 20-minute timer, and it will clock it. And then I can document what I did, and it stays organized. So in here, I can see this is my first chapter. I'm at 1,997 words, which is about right. I can go in and make sure all of my metadata is updated. I can see I've got 2 scenes in here. I can leave myself some notes. So if I want to come back in here in this chapter note and say, I need to update the opening hook and be sure it's more impactful. And then I can give myself different colors depending on what it is. So if it's urgent, I'm going to do yellow. If it's just editing, I can come in and do a blue. Or if I'm feeling like Barbie, I could do pink. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now I've got notes over here to leave for myself. I can also go in here and take a look at all of my character profiles and see what's going on with them. So for example, here's Phyllis. Here's her entire profile, her occupation, her pronouns, personality, her motivations, core fear, character arc, backstory, her relationships, thematic tie. If I wanted to edit any of these, this just keeps it front and center, but if I wanted to edit it, it'll open it up so I can edit it in a full menu here. So I can do a physical description, strengths, flaws. It goes across all of my different books. I can also take a look at my world building. So here's all of my locations. Here's all the events that happen. So I could track an event in here if it's an inciting incident and it's needed for something else, or I just want to keep track of it. I can track all my events. Then I've got all my lore. Here's all my magic systems. So I can just double check if I'm writing something and I'm like, oh, what was the mirror realm? Did I break any rules or mechanics? Do I have some usage? What am I doing with this magic realm? So I've got that. I've also got version control. So if I wanted to go back and revert back to a different version, I can do that. And then I can also go back and look at my story outline at any time. So once I'm done writing or editing, which to be honest, I really edit in here more than I write, then I can export it, or I could save a snapshot. So if I say, okay, I'm happy with this version, but maybe I want to come back to it, clear maybe some of these notes later, I can save this snapshot, play around with it, and then if I don't love it, I can always revert back to what I wanted. I can also clear this note. It'll still save it even if I close it up. So that's Writing Studio. So then I would finish up my timer here, and then I can go back into my time tracking and I can see in here, I didn't do a full Pomodoro, so it won't be there, but when I go into time tracking, you'll see that I can start a timer from here, or I can just add a manual what I did. So I worked on curses and currents. I worked on it from 8:16 to 8:16 a.m. right to 8:17. And then I could pop it. Now, if I had done it from Writing Studio, it would populate the starting and ending word count for me, but this way I can see it's 21:17, and then maybe it's 21:19. And then I can put notes. I can also tag it if I was writing or editing or marketing, so I can tag all of this. So then I can just create a note here, and that goes in my time tracking. So now I can see I've written 3 minutes of words. So great. I can also go back in and look at my series. I've got my entire series here, and it's got all the details. I've got 8 titles and 15 characters. Again, I can go back through all of my character sketches. I can update those. You can create character sketches whenever you want, and then I can manage multiple pen names. I just have Lola McDougall in here for now, but I will have a new pen name soon. If I decided to start a new pen name, I would just click on new pen name. I can do a quick start here, or I can do a complete setup where it will walk you through brand discovery, copywriting, social media, pro style. The nice thing about it too is that as I go through here, there are some AI wizards in here, but I can also go into the settings down here and I can shut off AI. So if I don't want anything AI in my entire studio here, I can disable every AI feature and it's all shut off. So you'll see everything change to be non-AI. This becomes a search and non-AI search. But if I have AI turned on, this becomes a chat history, and I can say, hey, what are my tasks? How much time did I spend on this manuscript? What are my next launch tasks? So you've got a contextual AI chat here. Or again, you've got a plain search. So if you shut off AI, it's absolutely no problem at all. You still have functionality. So once I'm done with Project Studio, then let's say I'm ready to send out some newsletters. So I can go to email campaigns and I can create a campaign. The way that the studios work is that we respect where you have your data already. So if you are using Fluent CRM, we're fully integrated now. Shortly, we will have MailerLite, we'll have Kit, we'll have ActiveCampaign, we'll have MailPoet, we'll have MailChimp, and really any other email service you can think of. The concepts in here are pretty much the same. You've got a list of contacts, right? And then they have lists and tags. So all of those lists and tags are universal inside of here. So you will see your list of your contacts. You'll be able to import them from Fluent. And what's great is that even though all the contacts are still in Fluent CRM, when I sync it, it syncs to my Airtable, and then I have a complete backup. And they stay bi-directionally synced, meaning things that you do in Fluent come through to Storyteller, and things that you do in Storyteller go back over to Fluent. So it's a bi-directional sync. But if I ever decided to leave Fluent for whatever reason, or if I ever decided to leave MailerLite or MailChimp, I have a complete backup already stored in Airtable that stays synced and is my personal backup. You can also use this as a full CRM, so you can add people in there and then you can send them one-off emails. You can add notes to them for contacts, ARC teams, anything that you can do in a proper customer relationship manager like HubSpot, you can do in here. Also in Marketing Studio, you'll be able to write blog posts and manage all of your blog posts from here for WordPress and Shopify blogs. And blogs are an amazing way to have greater discoverability. Most people think of them as old school, but they are fantastic for search engines and for now LLM discovery. So all the Google search is going to be powered by an LLM, and by blogging, you have greater visibility. Inside Sales Studio, you can see that I've got my books in here, and I can click on Add Product, And this is going to create a book directly for sale on directtoreaders.com. Directtoreaders.com is our discoverability for indie creators. If you were to sign up for this, it's $100 per year, and you can list all of your books. And we have an AI librarian that can help people find what to read. So if you go to the Discover and you say, I'm looking for a paranormal cozy fantasy, readers come here and they can chat with a librarian, and all of the books that are in our library will be discoverable. And so we also have the ability to have all of our featured creators. It gives me a link to my book, and you can see everything about my book here. And then you can purchase this directly from here. So it is a way for you to have a direct sales, and then this book would be delivered by BookFunnel directly to the reader through BookFunnel. So we have a direct connection there. So inside Storyteller, when you create a new product, you can have it directly published over to direct to readers, and it will be for sale. You can see how many active products you've got, how much you've made, what your recent sales are. You will also have the ability to see all of your Shopify data here and your WooCommerce data. So everything in Sales Studio will live side by side, and you can see everything in one place. We also have an optional book report. So if you use Get Book Report, all of this data inside of Book Report will live inside of Sales Studio, and you can see all of your sales with all of the retailers in one place for unified analytics. And then once all of your data is here, you can, if you have AI turned on, launch the AI assistant, and it will give you some advice as to what to do with your titles. So it can say, hey, we noticed that your sales have dropped off on XYZ retailer. Why don't you try refreshing the creative? Or have you thought maybe a new ad campaign? It can actually walk you through based on everything that it knows. So it's a dashboard, but it also has business intelligence baked into it. And then you've got Social Studio. So with Social Studio, you have a full content calendar, and you've got a ton of ideas and an idea generation engine here. So you can see these are all of the posts and the ideas that I have side by side. So if I go to create, I can generate some campaign ideas. And I only see this because I have AI turned on. If you did not have AI enabled, then you would not see this, but you still have the ability to post, and you still have the ability to bulk upload, and you still have the ability to manage your entire social media across 13 platforms here. So you can select a pen name, and then it recognizes that there's a brand guide attached to my pen name, Lola McDougall. So it knows my colors, my style, how I use emojis, what voice I use, what AI isms have to be burned in fire and never used. So it understands everything about me and my brand. So then I can go in and say, oh, I'm ready to promote book 2, Mirrors and Moonlight. And then I can generate campaigns. So if I wanted to do 10 ideas all the way up to 30 ideas, it will give me 30 ideas. So if I'm about to launch book 2, I'm going to want to do some author voice and personality, writing life and process, new reader awareness, right? And entertainment and delight. Those are my focuses. And then I want to focus on what type of content. Do I want to do promotional engagement? Yes. Do I want to do behind the scenes? Yes. Do I want to do quotes? Yes, because I want to give a little tease. Then under the advanced settings, I can decide which AI model I want to use to power these campaign ideas. I traditionally like Claude. I think Claude is the most creative. So I can go in and say, yeah, I want to do Opus 4 because Opus 4 thinks a little bit better than Sonnet does. And then I can click on generate. And then once it's done, then I'm going to have a well of ideas that I can go in and approve or decline. And then once I've weeded through the ideas that come in, then I can say, oh yeah, those are the ones that I want. So once I've got an idea, then I can come in here and I can see that it is Great Aunt's Legacy. Here's the description, here's the hook and angle, here's the primary CTA, and then these are the image generation prompts. And then I can fully edit it. But if I'm happy with it, then I can go in and generate images. And so it's going to generate the images for this post. It takes a minute because it is going out to free pick and it's grabbing images for Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest based on these prompts. And then it's also going to create the captions for all of these as well. And then once it's done, it's going to bring it back so I can take a look at it. If I have just a quick post that I want, I can go into create post here. And you can see I've got all of my social networks connected here for Blue Sky and Facebook. And I can generate a post straight from here. And I want to say, get ready for book 2. And it'll generate the captions for me for each of those. And bring them back in, right? So I can say, do I want a professional one? Do I want a casual one? Do I want a promotional one? So I can say, I want to do a casual one. So I'm going to use this caption. And then it has a character counter. So for Telegram, I'm getting pretty close. Still in the green for all of these. And then I can upload an image here. Or I can select it from my GitHub images where I've stored everything. And then there's a couple of options for first comment. So on some platforms that you can't put a link in the caption here, but you can put a link in the first comment. So you could put that in there. And then if you wanted to add different collaborators, you can add them. And if you wanted to add a poll, you can add a poll. And then there's a share article for the ability to do that for some platforms. And then when you're done, you can click on Post Now. With Social Studio, you can create a queue where you can post to different platforms, different days of the week. So on Monday, I want to post at 9 and 3. On Tuesday, I want to post at 12 and 3. So I have my time zone. I'm active 7 days a week and I have 14 slots. So when I post here and I click on add to queue down here, it's going to put it into the queue at the time that I want it to go next. So I don't have to spend my day figuring out on my content calendar when that will be. Now, in the calendar, I can see everything that I've got posted. I don't have much posted, but I can also schedule a post straight from here, put it straight onto my content calendar, and then I can drag things around. And last but not least, you've got a full media library. So you can go into media library, you can upload your media here and everything will be there and ready for you to use across all of the different studios. And then if I ever have some questions, I can go into the full FAQs. There's 25, 27, 25 articles across all of them. If I'm stuck and I just want to see troubleshooting, I can flip this on and then I can just see the troubleshooting across all of the different studios here. And then I've also got a link to all of the webinars on Indie Author Training. So I can go in here and learn about designing a writing career that fits, or are you blocking your success, or how to leverage print to grow sales. All of these are upcoming. And then there's also 45 past events. And then finally, I've got the articles from Indie Author Magazine. So you can see these are the very latest articles. So if I want to read the article, I can click to read article and it'll take me straight to it on Indie Author Magazine. And in StorytellerOS, you have a full unlocked account to Indie Author Magazine. We've got full documentation if there's anything that comes up. We've got walkthroughs, we've got quick start guides. In the settings, of course, you can always go back and change your settings for anything. So for example, if your Airtable gets wonky, you can always do a check Airtable configuration. You can also see GitHub. We keep all of your words and everything go into GitHub so that you have full access to that. That's where we store all of your images. We like GitHub and Airtable because they have free versions that are really generous. But you've also got options for marketing. This is how you'll connect all of your email. This is where if you want to generate images, you can choose which model. I personally like Nano Banana. You've also got the ability to connect all of your social accounts. So you just go into social and then you can click on any of these, any of the ones that are disconnected, you can click on connect and it will walk you through connecting over to Pinterest. You can give access to it. It'll bring you right back and you keep all of your connectivity. We don't store any of your credentials here except to know that you are connected, right? So you can connect all of your socials. So now I'm connected to Pinterest. If I wanted to post to Reddit, you can see we've got 13 platforms here. So if you've got an issue and you want to let us know about it, you can click on Report Issue. We'll capture your browser type and screen size and page URL and platform so we can understand exactly what the context is. And then all you need to do is just describe the issue. And if you've got some screenshots, you can send them to us. And then you can go into the support center here and you'll be able to see any bugs that you have let us know about. So we've got all the different bugs here. And then you can also live chat with our support team if you want to let us know about something like purchasing questions, pricing questions, demos, feedback, complaints. You can do that straight from support. You can also go into our roadmap and let us know what you would like. If you are logged in, you can click on Submit Feature here and you can tell us what you would like. So you can see in the Coming Soon section, we've got a full design studio that's going to be integrated access to Canva, Vistacreate, and Adobe Express. You can see that we have Brevo and a full analytics studio and WooCommerce integration. Those are being developed now, and you can see what's been requested. So we have BookFunnel auto title creation, Publisher Champ, Marlowe, texting, find and replace, ConvertKit, Flowdesk, anything that you really want, you can let us know about. If there's a way for us to do it, we absolutely will. We've shipped 48 features already, and we're really proud of what's in there as a unified dashboard. A couple of last things, you have a task manager linked in here. So if you wanted to use this as a full replacement for Todoist or Google Tasks, you can. The nice thing is, of course, is that it's contextual. So when you go in here and you want to set something up and attach it to, say, your pen name, right, or a new pen name, or you can attach it to a specific series if you have things, or if you have a book, one specific book, you can edit it there. So you have tasks and then it'll appear on the content calendar there. You can also see a list of tasks, right? So you have a list here instead of the calendar version. And then we also have a Kanban board, which is like Trello and really helpful too. I can go in from a template and we've got templates in here for marketing, launches, research, right? And so you can use one of these task templates to get you started with multiple tasks. And then you can just add dates to each of them. So pretty handy. We also have a finance tracker. So if you want to keep track of transactions, you can just say whatever it is. You have dates for the date that you've entered it and then the due date. So if you wanted to load your bills in, you can load in future dates here, and then it will send you a notification to pay them on that date. And again, you can track it down to the granular level of pen name or series or title. So if you want to know how much it costs to spin up a new pen name, you have that data at your fingertips. Same thing with series. And then you've got the ability to add vendors in. So you can click on the plus sign here and add a new vendor. So if you were working, for example, with translations and you wanted to add in your translator or your narrator, you could add them in as a new vendor. And then you've got a full list of vendors that you can take a look at. It's designed to have everything in one place and manage your entire business from end to end. To get started, it's incredibly easy. You can go to Project Studio, you can click on titles, you can do a new title, you can do a quick start, and you can just add your ASIN here. So for example, let me just grab an ASIN here real quick. I can do autocomplete title details, pop in my ASIN and fetch the details here. And it's going to come back with all the details. So it's going to say, hey, I found this book. Here's everything that Amazon knows about it. So when I update title, it's going to update it with everything that it knows. I can also go in and see all of the reviews on this book, and then I can import more reviews and see I've got 0 because there's nothing new. This is the verified purchase reviews, and then I can see them. We also have a notification system, so you can see all of our notifications. You can see everything that we've been hard at work doing. We push those out and we publish pretty often. You can see the version is actually the date that we pushed the last fix. So 2/22 was last night. So this is a day in the life of me using Storyteller. I hope that was helpful. Please let me know if you've got any questions. We've got an amazing team here to help you with anything that you need. Have a great day.